Hello, lovelies. Welcome to Narc Free Formula. My name's Freedom. Thank you for joining me. Tonight's episode, I am going to be discussing the 6 stages of emotions that you will go through when you are breaking up with a narcissist. Before I start, can I ask you, if you'd like to see more videos like this, to please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and also share the video widely. Also, to help me build the channel would be fantastic. All right, darlings. So we all know breakups are hard at the best of times, but breaking up from a narcissist is a whole different ball game. So the thing is, I've written down the 6 stages. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that you will go through the exact stages in the exact sequence that I've put them forth. I think that most people will experience all 6 stages at some point in time. So the first stage is, so at the outset of the breakup is absolute shock and disbelief at what's occurred. And this, once again, cognitive dissonance, where your brain is trying to wrap itself around everything that's actually occurring. So, for example, you may have been in a relationship with a narcissist for years, and now all of a sudden, everything you've ever known is now gone, and you're starting from scratch, and that is hard to come to terms with. Plus, also, look, the way it always pans out with the narcs and sociopaths, it's never easy. You know, they're never upfront in their handling of the situation. They're never honest, so there's a lot of confusion and a lot of doubt about what's actually going on. So henceforth, the what the fuck shock stage, shock and disbelief. And also sometimes just the realization that, oh my god, I'm actually out. I got free. I actually got free. So that's kind of an elated version of the what the fuck. All right, stage 2. So nervousness and fear. And this stage is something that will kind of come and go during the first, 6, 12 months even. And it's purely because for most of us, the narcissist has had so much control over our lives and over us as people that we still feel like at any minute they're just going to kind of pop up somewhere and take back control of the situation. We feel, for a lot of us, we've been under surveillance, so we feel like they've still got their flying monkeys watching us, and then often they do. So there's a kind of a nervousness in the first few stages. For me, that kind of started to pass maybe around the 6-month mark, but it took that long, and it took him being out of the state for me to actually feel a lot more comfortable. Prior to that, when he was in the same state and in the same town, and driving past my house at night and those kind of things, that creates nervousness. Not all narcs will do that, but the vast majority of them will do something similar. They don't like, they see us as possessions, and they don't like to lose control and to have their toys, taken away from them at all. They don't like that. So the third stage is grief and sadness and a sense of loss. For a lot of us, we've spent years, created families, blood, sweat, tears, built up a life together, worked really hard, to keep the relationship alive, put so much effort into the relationship. And then to realize that it's all for nothing, to realize that it never meant anything anyhow. I mean, that's, it's like, it's not like, I mean, it's like, you've lost something. So it's like, having a mini death, but it's kind of worse than that because you also feel ripped off and conned as well. So it's not only that the love is gone, the love is gone and the relationship is gone, but it's the realization that it was never really there in the first place. And that's what causes this, heartbreaking grief and sadness, and complete sense of loss. You've lost not only your love, your partner, but your family and the future that you had in your head. You've lost all of that. And at times you will grieve that. I mean, it doesn't matter that he was a narcissist or a sociopath or a psychopath. It doesn't matter. The grief will still happen. So don't try and deny the grief because it's a healthy part of healing. There are things that you can do to help you deal with the grief, and that's a lot healthier, I think, than trying to suppress it or deny it. Okay, the fourth stage is anxiety. This is in part because the narcissist will never allow a sense of closure. They'll never come and say, look, what we had was great and I'm sorry that I stuffed it up, and they'll never admit any wrongdoing. They will never acknowledge any responsibility, unless they're trying to manipulate you and con you. They'll never actually hold one position on anything for any given period of time. They kind of flip all over the place, being angry, being aggressive, being sad, being mad. There's no actual closure. At any given day, they could respond 10 different ways to you. And so because of this lack of closure, it creates, like I said, this sense of anxiety. And also, you're kind of going through a very vulnerable stage as well, because you're still coming to terms, with what has actually occurred. They say normal breakups take half the time that you were together to get over the person. With a narcissist, I don't know if that is the case, because, it depends. If you, like me, are hell-bent on recovering, hell-bent on staying focused, and putting your family first and, doing all the right things, if you are like me, then, recovery can take a lot less time. And I think the key is remembering that none of it was real, because if it was real, he wouldn't have picked up with someone else within a week. He would not have started a relationship with someone else within a week. And not just someone else, but someone that I had allowed into my house, someone that is a family friend, someone that knew my child, someone that I had even said to him, I'd asked him, if he was attracted to her, and at the time, he said no, and he called her an idiot and, said that she was stupid and that she was a loser and all these kind of things. But, in hindsight, what he said and what he did, two different things. So anyhow, when you're dealing with all of that stuff, you're going to get a wide and varied range of emotions. Anyhow, number 5. Oh, this one's a doozy. Anger. It's okay. Just 1 second. Sorry, guys. Anger is going to happen. There is no doubt in my mind that you're going to have stages of feeling righteous anger. You have been conned. You have lost years, or time, whatever your time is. For me, it was years, over a decade over a decade of my life. I gave all my love and loyalty to someone for over a decade who was just a con artist. And that makes me fucking angry. So you too will have your moment of feeling angry. And please don't deny that. It's okay to be angry. You've got every right. This is righteous anger. You know, you have every right to feel angry. I think it's important to kind of write it out, you know, and express the anger as well. Don't try and minimize it and deny it. Don't try and, you know, push it away because it's an ugly emotion. It's okay to feel angry. You've got every right to, you know, absolutely every right. And also with the anger, you know, comes hurt and betrayal. You know, especially when they pick up with new supply so quickly. I mean, it's bad enough to have to go through a breakup after, you know, a decade or so of a relationship, but then to have to deal with them being involved with new supply so soon. I mean, literally for me, it was within a week. I mean, what kind of a fucking joke is that? You know, and this man has the nerve to say, you know, that, oh, but he was my soulmate. You know, that's why you get angry, that kind of thing. That's why you feel betrayed and hurt, you know, utter betrayal. It's quite sickening, actually. All right, darlings. So you will also have moments and it will pass. But, you know, in the first few, maybe 3 to 6 months, you'll find yourself obsessing about it all. Just about, you know, what the fuck just happened? Like, did that really happen? Did everything that I think happened actually happen? And you will have times where you'll try to minimize it, you'll try to justify it because, you know, you've been trained for a long time by him to minimize his behavior and justify his bad behavior and say, you know, it's because of this and it's because of that. But the truth is, his bad behavior is because he's a narcissist, you know, and doesn't care about anyone or anything at all. It's all just about him. They're the most self-entitled and self-absorbed people you will ever meet. And, you know, subsequently, you'll have a lot of these moments where you'll just be thinking, what the fuck just happened? Like, did that really just go down like that? I mean, I have moments where sometimes, you know, in the morning when you're half awake and half asleep, I still have moments where I forget where I am. And then it's like, oh, that's right. Yep, not married to a psychopath anymore, you know. Hallelujah for that. All right, and then there's also shame and embarrassment. Because, you know, you fell for it. You got sucked in. You got taken advantage of, you know, because you trusted and because you loved and because you, you know, you were naive. Like, I mean, I will be the first to admit, you know, the woman I was 15 years ago is not the woman who I am today. I would never fall for that crap now, but 15 years ago, I was a lot more naive, a lot more trusting, and I would never think that anyone could ever do what got done to me. I just would never, ever imagine for 1 minute that anyone had the capacity to do that to someone. And because narcissists are so good at what they do, also, you know, when you're in the first stages, you know, the first few years or whatever, because they're so good at what they do, you know, you think that they really do love you and that's, you know, that it's real and, you know, that you're going to be together forever and that, you know, he's your knight in shining armor and he's going to fix all your problems. And, you know, you believe all that stuff, you know, and then having to come to terms with that after the relationship has ended, having to come to terms with the fact that all of that was bullshit and you let yourself believe bullshit and you had instinct, you know, you had intuition, you had that kind of gut instinct going on, you know, little red flags came up, but you said to yourself, oh no, it's not because of that, you know, it's not really that, it's just, you know, It's because of what his ex did to him. That's why he's really fucked up, because they've always got excuses about what the ex did. It's how they train the new one, how they train the new one to behave a certain way just by saying what the ex did that they didn't like. Oh, honestly, it's sickening. But anyhow, listen, darlings, I suppose, so these are the kind of 6 main stages of emotions that you're going to go through. And as I said, you may not necessarily go through them in that particular chronological order, but you will, I dare say you will experience each and every single one of these emotions, and probably more as well, to be honest, because it is a really complicated thing that you're going through. Until I went through this, I didn't even know that, that narcissists existed. I had no idea what cognitive dissonance was, or intermittent reinforcement, or trauma bonding. Like, I had no idea about any of these things. I wish to God I had known these things. If I had known these things, I would have saved myself years and years and years. The signs were there, but I was just so easy to manipulate back then, because I just wanted to be loved, and because I had issues about my self-worth. And this person was the one saying to me, that he would love me, he would be there, he would protect me, he would this, that, whatever. Didn't. That's the key. Didn't. All right, darlings, thank you for watching. And if you enjoyed the video, like I said, please like, subscribe, and share. And I'd also like to hear in the comments if you think there's any stages or emotions that I have missed. And also, I'd just like to hear about your journey as well. So yeah, let me know in the comments. Thanks, guys. Bye.